Good day everyone, welcome to Wizard's Wisdom. My name is Nathan and today we are going to be talking about the Egyptian Triad of Darkness, or the Unholy Trinity of Egypt. Okay, so in my previous videos I talk about the Triad of Light, or the Holy Trinity of Egypt, and today I'm going to be talking about the Unholy Trinity. Okay, so I would definitely recommend watching the first video before this one, because I do talk about a tiny bit within Osiris, within the Osiris part, teaser, if you haven't watched it already. So I do recommend watching that one first, because it gives you a whole overview of the Unholy and Holy Trinity. In this Trinity, these two Trinities come together, so two Trinities create six, which creates the Star of David, or the Jewish star. So I definitely recommend watching that video first, because once you combined all the Holy and Unholy Trinity, start working with those, you start to go on the path of the Hexagrammaton. And if you don't want to know what I mean by that, Hexagrammaton, what was it? I forgot what it was, but yeah, there's a link. The three Unholy and Holy Trinities in unification create something magical, is all I can say. All right, so the Triad of Darkness. We're going to start with Set, or Seth-An, okay? Otherwise known as Set or Seth, Sutek or Set Tython. He is a war and storm god, known as Great of Strength and Great of Magic, okay? Son of Nut and Geb. Now, these parts were what he aids in. I did forget to mention some of the etymological references, if you didn't watch the first video, will be coming from the Necronomicon by Michael W. Ford. But all of what these deities aids in will be coming from me. Okay, so Necronomicon is this book here. I'm not sure if you're seeing that also. This book here, Michael W. Ford. You can get paperback. I wouldn't recommend going for the hardback with Balg, because they actually, it comes in a big set, but they even said they were going to remove, like, sort out some of his spelling errors, but they didn't sort out any of the spelling errors. It was pretty dumb publishing, and I think Michael W. Ford stopped working with Balg and started publishing his own hardbacks and stuff like that. Anyway, alright, what is Seth, or Set, good for? Good for, oh, I can't read my handwriting, mate. Good for battling life's storms. So what I mean by that is when life gives you shit, you could say, a storm, an overwhelming occasion, Set can help go through the storm, become the storm itself, okay? So you don't let the storm overwhelm you. Aids in internal and external conflict, okay? A lot of these war gods aren't necessarily for external conflict. It's mainly for internal conflict, working with those, you could say, inner demons that are conflicting you. Promotes rebellion to the status quo. This is an interesting one. Well, it's not really, because he's very known for this. But the status quo changes all the time, which means he aids in developing something new outside the norm. So going against the status quo, when the status quo is constantly changing, he's aiding you in being able to flow with that constant change. Rebelling against the status quo and stepping outside of the box, developing your own change against the status quo constantly, because the status quo, how it should be, is changing all the time. Okay. Alright, next one within the Triad of Darkness is Sekhmet, known as the Mighty One, Goddess of War, Pestilence, Healing, and Sorcery. Okay. Sekhmet is known as a lion head goddess, a feminine lion head goddess. She can aid in all forms of vampirism. I believe Michael W. Ford even has a book on her. I think it's Sekhem something. I believe. Sekhem vampirism. Something like that. But yeah, aids in all forms of vampirism, baneful or non-baneful. And you're probably thinking, non-baneful vampirism. Yes, you can do healing through vampirism. You can heal through vampirism. I've done this myself. Okay. My brother's dog has a metal plate in his hip, and I attempted to remove the pain using my left hand on the hip, and I had a conscious focus on removing or taking away his pain. And I shit you not, he started looking at me with a smile, and then started licking me, like he was happy that I was doing it. Okay, so it is very real, and it does work. Okay, so you can heal through vampirism by focusing on a specific ailment, or focusing on a specific energy, targeting it and removing it. Okay, it could be a positive or a negative energy. It could be their life force energy, or it could be the pain that they're having. Okay, age in developing spiritual combative powers. So this is kind of astral warfare powers, aids in developing different gifts within the astral realm to perform spiritual warfare. Things like, actually no, this is something that I taught a friend. He was having trouble with succubi? Yeah, he was having trouble with succubi in his dreams. And I told him, in your dream, burn them. He was like, what? I was like, grab them and burn them. And he said, how? I was like, imagine flames coming out of your hand and burn them. And he was like, okay, dude, okay. He didn't really believe me. And then a few weeks later, I was working with him, maybe a week or two later, he came back to me, he was like, Nathan, the succubi came in my dream and I burnt her. I was like, I told you, it's not that hard. Just in your dream, you need to focus your will intently to do something. And it doesn't happen as slow as it does in this reality. It happens quite quickly, and you can learn quite quickly in the dream realm. You can develop a lot of, or in the astral realm, you can develop a lot of gifts through that. Okay? Aids in working with animals and familiars. So yeah, it can aid in working with many different types of animals, not just cats, even though Sekhmet is depicted as a cat. Can aid in working with other types of animals and animal familiars. So whether astral familiars or physical familiars. Aids in transmuting familiars into a living animal. All things energy transmutation, actually. A lot of, she can teach you energy transmutation in a whole, which can become in vampirism, working with and sending different energy into objects. A lot of that helps with that. Okay, crystals, putting energy into crystals, putting energy into metals. Energy manipulation is what Sekhmet helps with. Okay? Alright, lastly is Anubis, also known as Anpu, the god of embalming and death, known as the Lord of the Hallowed Land. Now this is one of his connections to Belial, who is known as the Lord of the Earth. Okay? Who is also Adonai, Lord of the Earth. People think when you're doing the LBRP, you're working with these Abrahamic gods. you're working with Belial. Alright, so yeah, he's known as the Lord of the Hollowed Land, which is his connection to Belial, Lord of the Earth. Initiates one into the death current. So if you are... Now a lot of these gods will do that anyway, through their nature being ancient, and you could say dead. A lot of gods will help you get into the death current or necromancy through working with ancestors, etc, etc. But Anubis specifically works with the death current itself. So very akin to Cain, not Cain. So it's not Santa Muerte and Cain, like saint of death and the lord of death and the goddess of, like the god and goddess of death. Anubis is kind of like an intermediary between life and death, similar to Osiris being the god of rebirth, and Anubis being the god of death. Yeah, he initiates one into the death current, so he can aid with passing trapped souls. So I did I mention it in this video or my last video? I think it was in, so watch the other video before. He aids in passing trapped souls. So what I mean by that is some don't reincarnate. So when you get into necromancy, you'll come across spirits that haven't reincarnated again. And you would think, wait, so if these spirits aren't reincarnating, is reincarnation a thing? It is, but it has to be worked on. And you can also stop it two ways. Through either deification. A lot of the primal craft work will stop, in a sense, the wave of reincarnation. Not doing work will stop reincarnation, can stop reincarnation. Being trapped here can stop the reincarnation process. Being a trapped soul can stop it. These are typically like violent deaths, psychiatric deaths, things like that nature. Are those that are trapped, and he can aid in passing those trapped souls. And passing not just trapped souls, souls that have died and are going to the afterlife. Anubis was one of the main gods in the rites of death. What are they called again? Why am I forgetting stuff? The Egyptian Book of the Dead. He's in that a lot. But yeah, aids in deification and destruction of the old self. So destroying and killing your old self and transmutating that into a new, not new, but transmutating it into something different. Okay? Aids in baneful magic, all things baneful. Death magic, death curses, trapping souls. Yeah, aids in a lot of baneful magic. Also aids in demonic work, okay, or demonic magic. This is another connection to Belial or Bel-El-Hul, and I won't explain that name any further because I can't. I'm bound to not speak about that. But yeah, he aids in demonic magic. You could say he's the Lord of Demons to some. Okay? But that is the video on the Unholy Trinity, or the Triad of Darkness. Again, small video. My other one's a bit small, but put them together, they'll be about 40 minutes to an hour long. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time. Check out my other videos, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already to be notified whenever I upload. I'll go live, which I may do in a few coming days or weeks. Okay? Thank you for watching again. Peace out.